In the heart of the enchanting Amaoha Kingdom, there existed a prince named Chidi. His allure was not merely skin deep, it emanated from within, captivating everyone who crossed his path. With eyes like polished onyx and a smile that could coax the sun to rise in the night, Chidi was the embodiment of grace and charm. The community adored him. When he rode through the bustling market square, his majestic steed seemed to hold the breath of the earth. The women whispered his name like the sacred incantation, their colorful wrappers swirled around them, as they vied for his attention. Their laughter like the tinkling distant bells. Chidi was no ordinary prince. He possessed a heart as vast as savannah, and his generosity knew no bounds. Chidi carried a secret burden. The destiny of Amaoha Kingdom rested upon his shoulders. The elders spoke of an ancient prophecy: only love that transcended wealth and status could unlock the kingdom's true potential. And so, Chidi embarked on a secret mission, leaving behind the opulence of the palace. In the heart of Ikemmba Kingdom, where the sun painted the savannah gold, lived a young woman named Ife. Ife's beauty held stories, the laughter of the ancestors, the resilience of generations, and longing for something more. Her family's riches echoing through their sprawling compound, her eyes sparkled like the morning dew, her skin glowed like the setting sun. Every man in the village desired her, not just for her beauty but also for the promise of prosperity that came with her hand in marriage. Yet Ife yearned for more. She felt trapped within the guided walls of her upbringing, suffocated by the expectations and the weight of her lineage. The suitors who courted her were wealthy, but their hearts were as shallow as the river during the dry season. They saw her as a prize to be won, not a soul to be cherished. One moonlit, Ife made a decision. She packed all her belongings, a few clothes, a clay of water and a dry herbs, and slipped away from her opulent home. Journeyed beyond the familiar hills, guided by the whispers of the wind and the ancient baobabs, in a faraway land where the grass was greener and the stars danced differently. Ife saw true love. She wanted a true love that transcended wealth and status, that touched her spirit and ignited her soul. She wandered through the forest, crossed rivers, and slept under the open sky. She disguised herself to be an ordinary village woman, hiding her wealth and status just to find true love. In the distant village, Ife met storytellers, and a wise old woman who shared tales of love and loss. She tasted wild fruits, danced around the bonfires, and learned the language of the village. Her heart expanded, embracing the vastness of her new home. Ife spent her days tending to the sick and feeding hungry children, and mending the worn-out clothes of the poor villagers. Her joy came not from material wealth, but from the smiles she brought to their faces. After weeks that Chidi arrived at the distant village, Chidi noticed Ife's selflessness. His heart swelled with admiration for her. He longed to be near her. He would often watch her from a distance as she distributed food to the children. Her eyes gentle and caring. Chidi knew that he loved her presence, so he monitored her more often. One day, as Ife was trying to fetch water from the stream close by the village square, Ife stumbled on a slippery rock and fell into the river. Current tugged at her and threatened to sweep her away. Chidi, with instincts sharper than any sword, leaped from the bank and waded into the water, his arms strong. He reached for Ife. Their fingers brushing, her eyes widened, a stranger, yet his gaze held kindness. Chidi pulled her to safety, water dripping from her hair. She gasped for breath, her gratitude unspoken. "Thank you," Ife whispered, her voice like a secret shared between stars. Chidi smiled. "I am Chidi. Who are you?" Chidi asked. "My name is Ife," she replied. She was completely drenched by the river, felt so cold and wished she was at her home where she felt utmost comfort. Chidi were pleased by himself for saving Ife, who he always admired because of her kindness towards the villagers and children. Chidi took to a corner by the riverside and lit up a fire so both of them can warm up. Ife, so pleased with the young handsome man who just saved her life without even knowing her background status, wished to know more about him, so she asked him about his family. Chidi, pretending to know much about the village, told her that he is from the village. He asked Ife what she was doing in the forest. She replied that she was trying to fetch water from the stream. Ife and Chidi spent the whole day at the stream. Chidi, impressed with her great wisdom. Ife is so wise that he wanted to give her a gift, but he didn't want to make his secret known. Ife too, still in awesomeness of this young man that saved her life, wished to know more about him. Days turned into weeks. Ife and Chidi, still overwhelmed with each other's presence, began to fall in love with each other. Ife, who is left with almost nothing to eat, worried about how to continue staying away from home. She worried about her parents because they knew nothing about where she is now. Her parents must be so worried about her because she is their precious child. Although they almost forced her into marrying one of her suitors, she still misses her parents. She left for Ikemmba Kingdom in the early hours of the morning. She hid her plans of leaving the village from Chidi, her newfound love. Upon her arrival at Ikemmba Kingdom, her parents were overjoyed to see their long-lost daughter. They promised never to ignore her little joy again, or to overwhelm her with suitors. Chidi waited for days by the riverside, hoping to catch a glimpse of Ife, the girl his heart beat for, but he never saw her again. He missed her presence so much that he wished he revealed his true identity to her. He was already planning to marry Ife, and has fulfilled his quest of finding a woman that will love him beyond riches. He has a great feeling that Ife is his woman of destiny. Chidi searched for Ife for days, before he returned to the land of Amaoha upon getting a troubling news about his father, the king of Amaoha Kingdom, who suddenly got seriously ill and almost at his death point. In total heartbreak, he swore never to leave Ife for her kindness and great wisdom. He decided to always go back and search for her. Ife, after so many weeks, returned back to the small village, hoping to find the vibrant young man who once saved her life. She has already fallen in love with this young man. She went to the riverside and searched for him. She also asked the villagers, but no one knew him. On the third day, while she was planning to return to her hometown, a stranger dressed in royal regalia called her name, Ife, with a very loud voice like the trumpet sound. She was completely amazed that someone knew who she is, utmost confusion, because she is no longer in her state of disguise. She turned back to see a very familiar face. She could not believe her eyes. She was completely shocked to see Chidi in such a regalia. Chidi himself was dumbfounded to see Ife in such an exalted state. They began to tell their story of how they hid their wealth and status just to find true love. Chidi told Ife what happened in the village, why he chose to hide his identity to find true love. Ife too told Chidi of her own escapade. And so, in the golden light of dawn, Chidi and Ife stood by the river, the same river where their love had bloomed, their hands brushed, and their fingers intertwined. Chidi's eyes held a universe of promises. Ife, we have found our treasure, and the kind that doesn't tarnish with time. With so much emotions within him, he asked for her hand in marriage. She accepted after much thought because she knows that their love is beyond wealth and status. Chidi, overwhelmed with joy and gladness for Ife's acceptance, decided to take Ife to Amaoha Kingdom that fateful day. The people of Amaoha Kingdom were overwhelmed with joy, for their prince has returned with a beautiful bride-to-be, whom her presence will bring progress and development to their kingdom. Few days later, Ife went to Ikemmba Kingdom and introduced Prince Chidi to her parents. They accepted his marriage proposal to their daughter and accepted him into their family. The next day, beneath the ancient baobab, elders chanted blessings. The villagers embraced the couple. Prince Chidi and Ife exchanged their marriage vows. Beyond riches, beyond titles, they vowed. And in excitement, the villagers and everyone who graced their ceremony applauded their union. The celebration spilled into the night. Torches illuminated the village, and the villagers danced with the new couple. And so, Ife and Chidi ruled side by side, and fulfilled the destiny of Amaoha Kingdom. This is to show that true love values people over possessions. It recognizes that wealth can provide comfort, but it is not the source of genuine happiness or fulfillment. True love understands that the richest treasures are found in relationships, selflessness, and a heart that seeks to serve and uplift others. Thank you for watching this amazing video. Please do well to subscribe to this channel, as we bring more educative content to you. Don't forget to subscribe, it's completely free.